Okay, it's that time again for Texas students. It's STAAR time, and I'm going to use this as an opportunity to walk you all through the last administered exam. So that was not the last one, but from May 2022. I'm going to walk you through the Algebra 1 question. I'm going to walk through every single question in the test and give you some pointers, some tips on how you can answer questions like this in the upcoming test in May of 2024. If you like the content that we have here, please subscribe to the channel and hit the bell so that you can get notified when we post other content in the future. And also check the description for some important materials that you can get, such as flashcards or information on how to sign up for your own one-on-one personalized tutoring lesson. So let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to start with question number 1. All right. So the approach I'm going to take with this is I'm going to read the question and just kind of walk you through how I think through this type of problems so that you can understand the best approach to answer this type of question. Okay. So the question here says the graph of the quadratic function r is shown on the grid. Which answer choice best represents the intercepts of the graph of r? So with the intercepts, we're thinking about the x-intercept and the y-intercept. So the x-intercept, let's look at that. X-intercept, that happens at x equal to 2, also at x equal to -10. And your y-intercept happens at y equal to -5. So how do you present the x-intercept? That's going to be 2, 0 here. And for this instance, it's going to be -10, 0. And for your y-intercept, it's going to be 0, -5. So let's see what we have. 0, -5 is here. So this is going to be our best answer right here. Number 2, a worker is packing items in boxes. The table shows the linear relationship between the number of items the worker has packed in boxes after different amounts of time. Which statement describes the rate of change of the number of items the worker packed in boxes with respect to the number of minutes the worker has been packing items in boxes? Okay, so what you're really looking for here is trying to establish a relationship between the number of minutes, which will be your independent variable, you can call that your x, and the number of items packed, which is your dependent variable, you can call that your y. So the relationship I can see here is 5 and 20, so 7 and 28, 11 and 44. So this looks like a multiplied by 4, all the way consistently. So what I can see here is that the worker packed 4 items in boxes per minute. Number 3, a system of equations is graphed on the grid. Which system of equations is best represented by the graph? Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do here is try to find the slope of each of these lines. So I'm going to pick up this point right here. I'm going to pick up this point right here. And then I am also going to pick up this point right here. So we're going to do a rise over run on this right here. So our rise is going to be -4. So let's call this line 1 and then line 2. Our rise for line 1, line 1. So rise over run is going to be equal to, we have -4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So -4 over, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 over -10. So that is 2 over 5 for line 1. Let's go ahead and look at what that would be for line 2 as well. For line 2, we're going to just use these all the way here. So our rise over run equal to 1, 2, 3. So -3 over, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, +5. Okay, so we have, let's go ahead and for this line 1, your C, which is your B rather, mx plus b, your b is -3. So line 1, I can simply say is going to be 2 over 5x minus 3 equal to y. Line 2, I can easily say -3 over 5x minus 8 equal to y. So let's look at which of these answer choices give us these functions. So 2 over 5x minus 3, -3 over 5x minus 8. So that's that. Number 4, which graph represents y as a function of x? So what we're looking for here is the vertical line test. The vertical line test simply says that if you draw a vertical line anywhere on the graph, it can only touch one point if it's a function. So we can just use process of elimination. If I draw a vertical line, 2 points here, 3 points here, 2 points here. So this is our best answer. And you can see from that if you draw a vertical line, no matter where you draw it, you're only going to touch the graph at one position or one point. Let's go to the next question. What is the solution to this system of equations? So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to use substitution because I can easily isolate x here, or you could use y, it doesn't matter. So let me see which one is better. I'll just go with x. So x is equal to 2y minus 20, because you take this 2y and you bring it over here. It becomes positive. So now I'm going to go over to the first equation. 2x is going to be 2 multiplied by 2y minus 20 plus y equal to 40. So we have 4y minus 40 plus y equal to 40. So let's group common terms together. 4y plus y, that's 5y minus 40 equal to 40. So we're going to add 40 to both sides. And you have 5y equal to 80. You divide both sides by 5. And you have y equal to 16. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to look at the answer choices and see which one has y equal to 16 and A is the best answer. That's the only one that has that value. So we don't need to spend time to go find x. Number 6, which graph best represents a quadratic function with a range of all real numbers greater than or equal to 3? So when you see greater, your range is your y values. That's what you're looking for. All real numbers greater than or equal to 3. So you're looking for a graph that goes up, that opens upward, but your vertex is at 3, or your lowest point, your lowest y value is at 3. So if I look at all of these functions, I'm going to only pay attention to the graphs that open upward. So this is no good. This is no good. Now let's look at this one. This one, the lowest value is -3. So that makes this no good. And we go select this one. Number 7, the value of y is directly proportional to the value of x. Okay, so directly proportional. So y equal to kx. So now we're told that x is 512. So k multiplied by 512, y is 128. So the first thing we're going to do is to find the value of k. So we divide both sides by 512. If you put this in your calculator, you will get 0.25. I'm just going to use a fraction, which is 1/4 or 1/4 equal to k. So now our new function, or our new equation is going to be y equal to 1/4 multiplied by x. So now it says, what is the value of y when x is 64? So when x is 64, y is going to be 64 multiplied by 1/4. So y equal to 16. That's your answer here. Number 8, a customer is buying bath towels and hand towels and can spend no more than $100. No more than $100. Each bath towel costs $8 and each hand towel costs $5. The inequality 8x plus 5y less than or equal to 100 represents all possible combinations of x, the number of bath towels, and y, the number of hand towels the customer can buy. Which graph best represents the solution set for this inequality? So what I'm going to do is a good practice is I'm going to plug in 0, 0 in here because I can see there's a 0, 0 in each of these graphs. So I'm going to plug 0, 0 into this inequality to see if the inequality remains true. So this is 0 plus 0, 0 plus 0 less than or equal to 100. That's a true statement. So that means this is bad because the bottom, the points that contains 0, or the shaded region that contains the 0, or should I put it this way? The region that contains 0 is going to be considered to be the right region here. Now we have two choices. We have G and we have J. The thing we need to look out for is less than equal to. So that means it has to have a solid line. So this is no good, and G is your best answer. Number 9. An exponential function is graphed on the grid. So the exponential function that is graphed on the grid is shown below. Which function best represents the graph? The fact that it is, whenever you have an exponential function and the large values are on the negative, you know that you're dealing with a fraction. So I'm going to remove everything that is not a fraction. It has to be a fraction less than 1. So we're going to get rid of that. So what I'm going to do here is I am going to just look at this value here, this point x equal to 0, and see what happens. X equal to 0, this is going to be 1. X equal to 0, this is going to be 2. So that means this is not good, and this is going to be the best answer. Number 10, which expression is equivalent to n minus 4 multiplied by 2n plus 7? So I'm just going to FOIL this. So this is first terms. That's n multiplied by 2n. That's 2n squared. And then, so we're using FOIL, F-O-I-L. So we use the outer terms now. N multiplied by 7. That is 7n. Now the inner terms, -4 multiplied by 2n minus 8n. And then the last terms, -4 multiplied by 7, -28. So this is going to be 2n squared, 7n minus 8n, minus n minus 28. That's your answer right there. Number 11, which situation shows causation? So let's look at the answer choices and see if they make sense. When the number of people in a bus increases, the number of animals in the zoo increases. That doesn't make any sense. When the number of hours worked each week by an hourly employee decreases, the amount of money earned by the employee also decreases. That makes a lot of sense. So let's put a line under it. When the amount of a discount for a sale increases, the number of items sold during the sale decreases. That doesn't make any sense. When the number of bike trails in a city decreases, the amount of rainfall, they're so unrelated. So the answer is B. Number 12, a system of linear equations is represented by the line H and the line J. A table representing some points on line H and the graph of line J as shown. Okay, so I'm going to start with we could start with either one. Let's go line H on this side, and then we'll go line J on this side. Okay, so line H here, we're going to just do a y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1 is equal to the slope. So let's find that right here. y2 minus y1, so 1 minus 7 over x2 minus x1, negative 8 minus negative 16. So negative 6 over negative 8 plus 16, that's 8. So this is negative 3 over 4. So let's park that in the corner. Line J. So we're going to go from here. We'll go all the way down here. Okay, so rise over run. So this is 6 to negative 4. 6 to negative 4, that's negative 10. And then we're going from negative 4 to 4, that's 8. So this is negative 5 over 4. Okay, so let's see what our choices are. So negative 5 over 4x for line J plus 1. So let's look for anything that has negative 5 over 4x plus 1. Okay, and we have negative 3 over 4x. So that's our best answer right there. J. Which answer choice describes how the graph of x squared was transformed to create the graph of x squared minus 1? So this is just going to be a vertical shift downwards because the horizontal axis is not affected in any way. So it's a vertical shift down right there. The expression d squared minus d minus 6 can be written in factored form as d plus 2 multiplied by d plus k, where k represents a number. What is the value of k? So what I'm going to do here, the best way to go about this is to try to simplify this. We'll distribute it. So let's FOIL that. D plus 2 multiplied by d plus k. And then we're going to compare it to this to see what value of k we're going to get. So we have, this is going to be FOIL. First, d squared outer plus dk inner plus 2d. And then last plus 2k. Okay, so now we have this right here. So we have d squared plus dk plus 2d plus 2k. Okay, and we're going to compare it to d squared minus d minus 6. So the best way to go about this, the simplest way to do this is to say 2k equal to 6, to negative 6. Divide both sides by 2, and you're going to have k equal to negative 3. So that's your value. The graph of a linear function is shown on the grid. Which equation best represents the graph? Which equation is best represented by the graph? So I'm going to look here. This is going to be plus 7 for the y-intercept. So anything that doesn't have plus 7, I'm going to get rid of. Now let's go ahead and get the slope. So this is from, let's draw a line here. So we have from 0, rise over run. We have from 0 to negative 7, so that is negative 7. And your run is from 4 to 8, which is 4. So this is going to be this one right here. Number 16, which expression is equivalent to c to the power of 8, d to the power of 6 cubed for all values of c, for all values of c for which the expression is defined. All right, so let's simply do this. This is going to be c to the power of 8, d, whenever you have exponent, you multiply to the power of 18 divided by c squared. So this is going to be c to the power of 8 minus 2, d to the power of 18. So c to the power of 6, d to the power of 18. Got that right there? It says, which value of x is the solution to this equation? All right, first of all, let's see if we can come up with common factor is 5. So we divide everything here by 5. So we're going to have x squared equal to 10x minus 15. And then we can write it in the standard quadratic form. So this is going to be x squared minus 10x plus 15. Oh, that's a mistake right there. It's going to be 9. Let's fix that. We're dividing by 5. So really what we should have is x squared equal to 6x minus 9. So this now we're going to rewrite this in the standard quadratic form. X squared minus 6x plus 9 equal to 0. So this is going to be the factors of 9 that give you negative 6. So 9, you have either one combination of 1 and 9, combination of 3 and 3. So this is going to be x minus 3 multiplied by x minus 3 equal to 0. So we're going to simply say x minus 3 equal to 0. So x equal to 3. Number 18. A florist is making bouquets of flowers for a wedding. Each bouquet will have 9 flowers. The graph shows the linear relationship between y, the number of flowers used, and x, the number of bouquets. The florist will use no more than 8 bouquets for the wedding. Which set best represents the domain of the function? So the domain is all the possible x values. So here it will be the possible numbers of bouquet. So we're told the maximum is 8. Anything that has values more than 8, we trash them. And here we have some choices. We have a decision to make between f and g. So the reason why f is not good is because it ignores odd numbers, and we need to have odd numbers here because there's nothing specifically limiting us to even numbers in the question. So G is going to be your best answer. Number 9. The graph of a line is shown on the grid. The coordinates of both points indicated on the graph are integers. What is the rate of change? So rate of change is the same as slope. So we're going to get the slope of this line. Okay, so our slope is going to be rise over run. So let's go ahead and draw a triangle here. I can get this straight. Okay, so slope, rate of change is same as slope, which is rise over run. So we have from 5 to -5, so that is -10. Then we have from -3 to 9, that's going to give us 12. So -5/6. Number 20, what is the value of the y-intercept of the graph of h of x equal to 12.3 multiplied by 4.9 to the power of x? So at the y-intercept, x equal to 0. So h of 0 is going to be 12.3 multiplied by 4.9 to the power of 0. And remember that any number, no matter how large or small, that has an exponent of 0, that evaluates to 1. So that's 12.3 multiplied by 1. So this is going to be 12.3. All right, number 21, 8.8 times 10 to the power of 9 divided by 2.2 times 10 to the power of -3. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to treat this, and then I'm going to treat them kind of differently. So first of all, 8.8 divided by 2.2, that's going to be 4. And then we multiply by 10 to the power of 9 minus -3. We're applying exponent laws here. 4 times 10 to the power of 12. So number 22, a person dives into a pool from its edge to swim to the other side. The table shows the depth in feet of the person from the surface of the water after x seconds. The data can be modeled by a quadratic function. Which function best models the data? So here we have to look critically here. We can see here that the numbers are negative. So I'm just looking at the answer choices. Anything without negatives is going to be completely out of the question. So let's get rid of F and G. Now, I'm going to just use, because there's no easy way to just figure out the right equation. So I'm going to just plug in x equal to 1 and see which of these is going to compute. So 0.261 squared minus 3.11 multiplied by 1. So 0.26 minus 3.11. So this is probably going to give you -2.85. So I don't need to do much. I don't need to go much further. That's going to be my best answer. Number 23, which expression is equivalent to 5RT minus 3RW minus 8TW plus 6RT minus 4RW plus 2TW? So what we're going to do here is we're going to group common terms together. So we're going to have 5RT plus 6RT minus 3RW minus 4RW minus 8TW plus 2TW. So this is going to be 11RT minus 7RW minus 6TW. So let's see if we can find something like that. Okay, that's our answer right here. Let's go to number 24. The solutions of P of x equal to 0 are x minus 7 and x equal to 7. Which quadratic function would this represent? So x equal to -7, x equal to 7. So what we're going to do is add 7 to both sides. Just a trick I use. So this is going to be x plus 7 on this side. Subtract 7 from both sides. So this is going to be x minus 7. So what we're going to do here is x plus 7 multiplied by x minus 7 is most likely going to give you, this is going to give you a difference of 2 squares, which is going to be x squared minus 7 squared. So this is going to be x squared minus 49. So number 25, 2 points are plotted on the grid. Which equation in slope-intercept form best represents the line that passes through these 2 points? So we're going to start with finding the slope. So let's go this way, that way, and then we can come down this way. So let's go with rise over run. Let's start there. Rise over run is going to be 6 to negative 4, negative 10 over, and then we have negative 2 to 1, which is going to be an increase of 3. So negative 10 over 3, I'm not even going to go further. That's my best answer right there. So the table shows the value in dollars of a motorcycle at the end of X years. Here's the table. So what we see here is the table, the value of the motorcycle is decreasing as the years progress. So because the value of the value of the motorcycle is reducing, so our function typically looks like this: a equal to p1 plus r to the power of n. And because it's reducing, it's going to end up being 1 minus r. So we're going to look for anything that is less than 1 in the parentheses. This is no good here. This is no good. Now, the value outside of the parentheses, to the left of the parentheses specifically, has to be the same as the value at the beginning of, so that's going to be the initial value of the motorcycle. So this is going to be a better answer. What is the positive solution to x squared plus 9x minus 22? So you can use either quadratic formula or factoring. I prefer to use factoring here. This one should be easy to factor. So we're going to look for factors of negative 22 that have a sum of positive 9. So for 22, we have 2 choices, 1 and 22. There's no way I can get 9 from here. I also have 2 and 11. There is a possible way to get 9. The only way we can get positive 9 is for the negative to be on the smaller number. So this is going to give us x minus 2, x plus 11 equal to 0, x minus 2 equal to 0, so x equal to 2. So it says we want the positive solution, so this is all we need to do. A university will spend at most 4,500. So at most means less than equal to. So anything with just less than, let's get rid of that. To buy monitors and keyboards for a computer lab, each monitor will cost 250 and each keyboard will cost 50. Which inequality represents the all possible combinations of x, the number of monitors, so that's 250x, and y, the number of keyboards, 50y, should be less than or equal to 4,500. Number 29, a construction manager is monitoring the progress of the build of a new house. The scatter plot and table show the number of months since the start of the build and the percentage of the house still left to build. A linear function can be used to model this relationship. First of all, just looking at this is going to be this is going to be a negative slope graph. So anything with the positive slope, we get rid of them. Now, if you look at this, if we try to draw a line of best fit here, you're going to see that it most likely will be uh, between 180. That line of best fit will be somewhere in there. So that means that we're going to pick from A and B, we're going to pick the one with the larger value of the y-intercept. So that's that. Number 30. Given f of x equal to x squared minus 36, which statement is true? So x squared is a perfect square, 36 is a perfect square. So that's going to give us x minus 6, x plus 6. Which x minus 6 is 0, x equal to 6, or x equal to negative 6. So let's see which of them. Okay, this is the only one that matches our equation. So we move on. A function is shown. What is the value of f of negative 5? So f of x is 7 minus 4x. F of negative 5 is 7 minus 4 multiplied by negative 5. 7 plus 20, 27. Which graph best represents y equal to negative 4x plus 3 minus 2? Okay. So the first thing we're going to do is try to find we're going to try to find the hk. So the h is x plus 3 equal to 0. So x equal to, so x plus 3 equal to 0, x equal to negative 3. That's your h. Okay, so your k is negative 2. So this is going to be negative 3, negative 2. So we're going to look for one. First of all, we're looking for a graph with a negative slope. So positive slope graphs are not welcome here. Now we need to look for a graph that has a point at negative 3, negative 2. So negative 3, negative 2, negative 3, positive 2. So this is the better answer. Which expression is a factor of 10x squared minus 19x plus 6? Okay. I'm just going to use a slide and shift method here. So I'm going to multiply 6 by 10. So I'm going to end up with x squared minus 19x plus 60. So we're going to go ahead and solve this. This is going to give us x minus 15, x minus 4. Now we're going to divide these by 10 and these by 10. So we're going to end up with x minus 3 over 2. And then we have x minus 2 over 5. So this is going to be 2x minus 3 here. This is 5x minus 2. So let's see which one we have. 5x minus 2 right here. Number 34. The table shows the linear relationship between the distance in feet below sea level and the time in seconds traveled by a submarine. What is the rate of change? Okay, the rate of change is slope. So let's go ahead and figure this out. Rate of change. It's going to be 604 minus 460 divided by 18 minus 0. So this is 144 over 18. So let's say rate of change equal to 8. Number 35, which equation best represents the line shown on the grid? So here you can see all the value, y is going to be -6 at all times. So that's that. Number 36, an insect population after x months can be modeled by the function g of x equal to 18, 1.3 to the power of x. Which statement is the best interpretation of one of the values of this function? So what I'm going to look for here, there are a few choices. 18 represents the initial number of insects in that area or in this study. 1.3 means that we had a 30% improvement so a 30% increase. So there should be an increase of 30% each month. Number 37, the graph of y equal to -1/6x minus 4 is shown on the grid. Which ordered pair in the solution set of y greater than? So we're looking above the line. We're looking up here above the line. So for us to get any values, the value of the y value has to definitely be positive. Anything with a negative y value doesn't work. So we're just going to select that one. Number 38. The conversion of degrees Celsius to degree Fahrenheit can be represented by a linear relationship. The graph shows the linear relationship between y, the temperature in degrees Fahrenheit, and x, the temperature in degrees Celsius, from the freezing point of water. Which equation best represents this situation? So we have a y-intercept of 32. So if you don't have a y-intercept, I have no use for you. Now we are going to find the slope. So this is 1 point here. Let's see if we can find another perfect point. Okay, let's go this way then. Let's go like that. Okay, so let's go with slope. The rise is, well, we're going down. So from 104 to -32. 104 minus 32. And then your run is 0 to 40. So this is 72 over 40, which is 9 over 5. So y equal to 9 over 5x plus 32. Good. Here. Number 39. Which graph best represents the solution set for the system of inequalities? Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and just rewrite this equation so we have it in quote-unquote the slope-intercept form. So in this first one, y equal, first of all, we're going to, because this is less than on both sides, we're going to cancel everything that has solid line because it has to be broken lines. So y equal to, okay, we start with the first one. Y equal to -1/2x minus 1. Okay, so now the other one is, well, let's say less than, sorry. The other one is y is less than x plus 3. So what we're looking for is, we're looking for two graphs. One of them is positive slope, the other one is negative slope. And so what I'm going to do is get these functions here and see which one is the best one. All right, so we have our positive slope graph looks that way. It's going, we have to shade below it. Our negative slope graph looks that way. We also have to shade below it. So this is going to be your best answer. Which graph best represents x plus 1, x minus 3? So we're going to look for one where the x-intercept is -1 and the x-intercept is +3. So +3, -1. And also our y-intercept is going to be -3. 1 multiplied by -3. So y-intercept, -3. -1 and 3, y-intercept is -3. That looks good. Okay, so -1 and +3. So this is going to be this is -1 and +3. We don't need this, we don't need that. So now we need to figure out which of this is the best choice here. Our y-intercept is -3, so this is the only good choice available. The first 6 steps of a geometric sequence are shown where a1 equal to -4. Okay, which should be used to find the end sequence. I'm probably gonna, you can see here, -4 to the power of 1 to the power of 2. So it's -4 . So -4n, so that's not going to work. This is no good. -n squared, that's no good. A is -4 to the power of n. No, no good. This is the best answer. What is the solution to the equation? Okay, so let's go ahead and try it. 4 letter q plus 4 multiplied by 56.5. That should give you 226 equal to 30q minus 112. So I'm going to move the 4q over here. 30 minus 4, that is 26q right here. And here we have 22.6, and then we bring -112 over. So that is equal to 338. So if we divide 338 by 26, we're going to get q equal to 13. Which expression is equivalent to 36m squared minus 100? First of all, let's simplify this further. So this is going to be 4 multiplied by 9m squared minus 25. And we complete this. Well, we don't need to complete this square. This is a difference of 2 squares. So this is 4 3m minus 5, 3m plus 5. Right there. Number 44. The table shows the net revenue in millions of dollars of a company every 3 months for 2 years. An exponential function can be used to model data. So, simple thing here, we can see an increase a month over every quarter. Let's put it that way. We see an increase. So, it tells me that we have A equal to P1 plus R to the power of N, or in this case, to the power of X. So I see an increase. So anything less than 0 doesn't work in the parentheses. So that we got a few problems here. We can only have in our parentheses, the numbers have to be most likely, it's an increase in percent, so it's going to be about 1. I mean, the number here has to be 1 point something because it's increasing. So whatever we have in there has to be 1 point something. So it's going to be 1.09. So that's the best answer there. Number 45. Which graph best represents this system of equations and its solution? Okay, so let's rewrite each one of them. So y equal to negative 2x plus 6. That's this one right here. Y equal to negative 5 over 4x. It's actually not negative 5 over 4. Let's walk through that one. Let's step through that one. 5x, let's do it this way. 5x minus 4y equal to 28. So add 4y to both sides. So we have 5x equal to 4y plus 28. And then we subtract 28 from both sides. So 4y equal to 5x minus 28. Divide everything by 4. Y is 5 over 4x minus 7. So I'm just going to focus on slope and intercept. So the first one, we ended up with y equal to negative 2x plus 6. So I'm looking at a negative sloped graph that has at 6. So let's see if we can get any of those. Okay, this is not a good idea. This one here, negative slope is negative 6. Nope. Negative sloped is negative slope should be at 6 and the positive slope should be at negative 7. So this is our best graph here. Let's go to 46. Which function is equivalent to k of x equal to x squared plus 2x minus 15? So we're looking at 15, negative 15 here. What are the two factors? 3 and 5. Because we look for positive, we need the negative and the smaller number. So this is going to be x minus 3, x plus here. 47. Which two graph best represents a part of a quadratic equation with a domain of all real numbers less than or equal to 4? sorry, all real numbers less than negative 4. Less than negative 4. So this is what we're kind of looking for. This is negative 4 right here. All our values are going to be this way. There's nothing coming on this side. So I'm going to pick C right here because all the values are less than equal to less than negative 4 because you have an open circle. So negative 4 on the x-axis, right? So that's our best answer there. Number 48. The graph of a line passes through the points negative 3, 1, and 5, 8. What is the slope of the line? So slope y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So let's go ahead and figure this out. This is 8 minus 1 over 5 minus negative 3. So this is 7 over 8. Number 49. A mail carrier delivers mail on one of two different routes, a morning route and an afternoon route. Each workday, the mail carrier is assigned one of these two routes. Last month, the mail carrier delivered mail on the morning route 16 times and on the afternoon route 12 times. So let's say number of the distance is 141 here. So we're going to say 16 in the morning plus 12 at night equal to 141. And the same situation, we have morning is 10 times, so 10m plus 15n equal to 123.75. So what can we do here? We can divide this by 5. So we have 2m plus 3n equal to 24.75. 16m plus 12n equal to 141. So first thing we're going to do is multiply this whole thing by negative 8. So we have negative 16m minus 24n equal to negative 198. So we're going to add all of this together. So we have the morning route. So we have negative 12n equal to negative 57 divided by 12, negative 12 rather. This is equal to 4.75. Okay, 4.75. 4.75 here. And then we need to find okay, so now what we're going to do is substitute the value of n into one of these equations. So I'm going to use this one here. So 16m plus 12n is negative 57. So 16m minus 57 equal to 141. 1. So 16m is equal to, so negative 12n is negative 57. So 12n is going to be positive 57. So 16m equal to 84. Divide both sides by 16. So m is 5.25. So that's the number of miles for the morning, for each morning delivery. So number 50. Quadratic functions p and q are graphed on the grid. The graph of p was transformed to create the graph of q. So we can see here p is upward facing, q is downward facing. So we are going to just reflect it. So there's no movement on the x-axis at all. So we're going to reflect, and when we reflect, we move it up 2 units. So that's going to be that. Because if we reflect, it's just going to look something like that, and then it goes up 2 units. What is the solution to this equation? So let's go ahead and distribute. So we have 80 minus 10y equal to 10y plus 5 minus 5y. So let's go ahead and group common terms together. 80 minus 10y equal to 5y plus 5. So we go here, we move this 5 over to the other side. So 80 minus 5 equal to 5y plus 10y. 75 is 15y. Divide both sides by 15, and y equal to 5. Okay, 52. The initial value of a home is 200,000. So that means the y-intercept is 200,000. Let's make sure that all of them have 200,000 as a y-intercept. So no good, no good. All right, let's keep going. The value of the home will increase at a rate of 6% each year. So it's going to slowly increase in value. Okay, so this is a slower increase. So this is going to be here. This is a steep increase, so this is no good. Number 53, a coach has 96 golf balls for the school's golf team. The coach will give each player on the team 8 golf balls. The graph shows the linear relationship between y, the number of golf balls remaining for the team, and x, the number of players on the team. The coach will use no more than 6 players on the school's golf team. Which set best represents the range of the function for this situation? Okay, so we're going to have only 6 players and there are 8 golf balls. So we start off at 96 and we keep going down by 8 until we get to 48. So that's going to be C. All right, this is the last question for this test. A linear function k has a 0 of -2 and a y-intercept of 6. Which graph best represents k? When we say a 0 of -2, that means it's going to cross here and cross, and a y-intercept of 6. So that's what we're looking for. -2, 6. So this is the end of the 2022 STAAR test for Algebra 1. If you have come all the way to the end with me as I walk through these problems, I'd like you to give us a subscribe and also take a look at the description for some additional materials that will be helpful to you, not just in your STAAR, but also in other aspects of your math journey. So thanks for watching, and I wish you the best as you take your upcoming STAAR test.